If the Cardinals do these three things well, they'll win Sunday at home against the Kansas City Chiefs.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily Arizona Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, everybody. Locked On Cardinals, Alex Clancy here. Follow me on Twitter at Clancy's Corner. Follow the podcast at Locked On AZ Cards. We're getting closer to game day. We're getting closer to week one. We're getting closer to see what this somewhat new look team will look like against the murderer's row of opponents in the first 3 weeks. At home against Kansas City, on the road in Vegas against the Raiders, and at home against the Super Bowl champion Rams. So there are three things that if the Cardinals execute on Sunday, they'll win. I'm going to talk about them this entire podcast. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen each and every day, free and available on all platforms. Please go to the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, turn the notifications on, hit a like on this video. I'm trying to spread this as much as I can, spread the love, spread the straightforward, opinionated nature that I have, and I don't know, just wish positive things for the Arizona Cardinals this season. It's going to be a group effort. Remember, I will be doing a live halftime show every halftime of every game. Bring your questions, bring your comments, bring a beverage. Let's make it fun. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Twitter Spaces. If you don't have a Twitter account, go make one. Use an email address you don't really use that much. Turn notifications off. But every Sunday, every Thursday or Monday, whenever the Cardinals have a game at halftime, go on to said Twitter account. Search for my handle at Clancy's Corner and join the Twitter Spaces. You can bring your questions, ask questions there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun season. So, a little news and notes first. Trace McSorley is going to be on the active roster in week one. Colt McCoy will not. Colt McCoy is injured. Trace McSorley, if there was a quarterback competition going into this offseason for the Cardinals, hypothetically speaking, Trace McSorley's performances would be a lot more, lauded, appreciated, because he played very well this preseason. And I know a lot of it was against 2s and 3s, but he played very well. He was fun to watch. And I think that most people would think that, say something were to happen to Kyler Murray and Colt McCoy was still injured, Trace McSorley, it could be a lot worse at a backup position for a quarterback. He knows the offense. He's flexible in the pocket. He can run the ball. He does things that Colt McCoy has never really done. It's never really been his skill set. He's been more of a pocket passer, more of an intermediate, sharpshooter. I think Colt McCoy has the record or top 3 record of all time in completion percentage in college. But Trace McSorley being on the active roster in week one as a backup, that's cool. It's a fun story. It's a fun story because he played very well during the preseason, and now he's a household name around Arizona Cardinals fans. So that's just a little news and notes before we get into the game, because tomorrow I've got a crossover with Chris Clark from Locked On Chiefs, 30 minutes. It's going to be super exciting. Then Friday, I'll give my predictions. I'll give my game breakdown position by position. But now we're still kind of looking from an overview perspective in the middle of the week. These are the three things that the Cardinals need to do. If they do these three things, they'll win on Sunday, regardless of what the spread looks like right now. Number one, this episode is brought to you by Brightco. Okay? I'm going to talk about them a little bit more later during one of the live reads. It's the way they set things up is hysterical, and it's also poignant. Okay? Brightco Jewelry and Watch Insurance brings you comprehensive, fast, and affordable jewelry insurance for as low as $5 a month. Check out your special offer for Locked On listeners and get covered in under 2 minutes at brightco.com. Bright.co/locked on. That's bright.co/locked on. Easy for me to say. The first thing that must happen on Sunday if the Arizona Cardinals want to win, the offense needs to come out and ball out immediately. This isn't a learning curve. This isn't a learning process. This isn't a figure things out, and then midway through the season, you can turn it on once things are put together. No DeAndre Hopkins. Hollywood Brown is in his first snaps as an Arizona Cardinal. It's got to happen immediately. And it's not always going to have to happen immediately, but against the Kansas City Chiefs, regardless if you're on the road or not, you got to be able to put up 27 points or a 30 burger to beat the Chiefs. And the one thing that needs to be avoided in this little cocoon of the offense needing to ball out is the 3 and outs in under a minute just can't happen against the Chiefs. It just can't. Because Patrick Mahomes, his 1 minute, possessions are usually touchdowns. So yeah, the defense is a little tired still, but at least they put up some points to make the defense come back on the field. The offense needs to hum. And it's clunky in week 1, I know. Especially because the starters haven't played at all this offseason. Aside from a couple offensive linemen. The first thing that needs to happen is Kyler Murray and Hollywood Brown need to be on the same page. You'd think they will be because history would show that they should be able to step on a football field, still have the feel for when they did in 2018, and produce. It's been 4 long years since that's happened, where they've actually been on a field together. We'll see. Are they going to rely on the run game? James Conner, Eno Benjamin, according to the 4-letter network, according to ESPN, Eno Benjamin is listed as the backup running back. And the interesting part about this is Darrell Williams is in that weird spot where he didn't show anything here, but he's shown plenty elsewhere. I think he's still going to be RB2. It's just anybody that's played fantasy football, anybody that's gawked over the Chiefs, over the last handful of years, lauded the Chiefs, just, that Darrell Williams is a baller as a backup. So the offense, in some form or fashion, it doesn't have to be Kyler Murray throwing 4 touchdowns. It doesn't. At this point, as long as the offense puts up points and is the strength of this organization, that's a win. It doesn't have, if Kyler Murray puts up the same amount of numbers as he did last year, he'll put up more because he's hopefully going to play all 17 weeks. But if he puts up 24, 25 touchdowns, 5 or 6 on the ground, but the Cardinals put up 28 or 30 points a game, who cares? He's going to get the credit. If they use the rush attack with their 4-headed monster right now, that's fine. What cannot happen is this offense can't put up 3 points in the first half. Otherwise, the Cardinals are going to lose. The first thing that must happen, and if it does, the Cardinals will win on Sunday, is the Cardinals offense has to emerge immediately and put up a lot of points. Alex Clancy, Locked On Cardinals. I'm stoked. I'm stoked about the Chiefs coming into town. I'm stoked because first off, week 1, it's the last preseason game, really. So if you're going to play one of the tougher opponents, week 1 is almost better because it's such a crapshoot for what's going to happen in the rest of the season. And they've got some pieces, they've got the MVS, they've got the Juju Smith-Schuster, they've got the Ronald Jones. They've got different pieces than they did. They've got no Tyrann Mathieu. So the offense and defense for the Chiefs looks different now. And the Cardinals need to be able to exploit that where the growing pains are still there in an effort to get a W on Sunday at State Farm Stadium. What are the other 2 things that must happen for the Cardinals to win on Sunday? I'll talk about them, okay? I promise I will talk about them next. First, as I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about Brightco. Okay, so Brightco is... they do things a little bit differently. Okay, their website is full of videos of proposal failures. So I was watching these, and there's one where this dude gets on one knee on a pier, with water all around him, on a pier / dock, gets down on one knee, opens up the box, and there's a huge gust of wind, and the ring falls out and flies into the water. True story, because there's the video. There's another one. This dude's about to propose on a boat, and the girlfriend kind of leans back, gets excited, and they both tip over into the water. Ring's gone. So you need insurance in case something like that happens. And it won't happen to you unless it happens to you. You don't want to be that guy. And you certainly don't want it splattered all over the internet. The guys at Brightco Jewelry Insurance will make sure you get a replacement for the full value of that ring. No matter if it's lost, stolen, or you just can't figure out what happened to it. If it falls off a bridge into a lake, go to bright.co/locked on. It's the fastest, easiest, and cheapest way to cover your butt with the best jewelry insurance in the business. As I mentioned, these guys at Brightco are geniuses. They made buying insurance for your engagement ring, your watch, or whatever so freaking easy. You can get covered in 2 minutes on your cell phone even. Bright.co/locked on. We all hate insurance, right? These guys at Brightco turn the whole experience around, so it's probably the easiest thing you can do for yourself this week. There's no excuses, man. For $5 a month, you get totally comprehensive coverage, and it won't take you more than 2 minutes on your cell phone. Check it out, bright.co/locked on. You have to see the videos. Go to the website just to watch the videos. Then if you want to grab some insurance, that's cool too. Bright.co/locked on. Alex Clancy here. Follow me on Twitter at Clancy's Corner. Follow the podcast at Locked On AZ Cards. Please go like, subscribe, turn on the notifications on YouTube. If you want to leave a review wherever you get your podcast, cool. That's awesome. I'm happy you're here with me because 2022 is going to be a trip. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be scary. It's a lot of question marks. The Band-Aid's going to be ripped off one way or the other, and I'm here for it. The offense has to pop off immediately for the Cardinals. If these three things happen, the Cardinals will win on Sunday. Number one, offense has to pop off. Number two, the pass rush has to disrupt Patrick Mahomes and get home. I talked about this a little bit yesterday as well. If you missed that, you can go check it out. Free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. They have to make Patrick Mahomes uncomfortable. Have to. When I'm recording this podcast, it's still up in the air whether Marcus Golden is going to play or not. You've got Dennis Gardeck. You've got the kids and Myjai Sanders and Cam Thomas. And I don't know what they're going to do necessarily with Isaiah Simmons and Zaven Collins. You're going to see some packages that are kind of rudimentary. That's Vance Joseph's bag. The Cardinals need to overcome this strengthened offensive line from the Chiefs and disrupt Patrick Mahomes. Victor Dimukeje is going to be another name in there. Can he replicate what he's done this offseason when the big lights are brightest? The pass rush by committee that Vance Joseph called it with a little dry smile on his face during a mid-game interview that was pre-taped, that was shown during a preseason game, makes me believe that he's got something cooking for this pass rush. It's going to be like USC or Notre Dame. No names on the back of the jersey. It's going to be, let's get to the quarterback. And getting in Patrick Mahomes' kitchen and disrupting him are two different things. Patrick Mahomes is one of the more elusive quarterbacks in the NFL. He's sneaky elusive. Like he's slow, and then he gets a 15-yard chunk run game. Like, holy crap, nobody can catch him. He doesn't have blazing speed. He doesn't have, he doesn't do anything like eye-popping, except for when he throws the ball, but his ability to find space, contort his body to make throws around defenders' arms, shoulder pads, helmets, etc., makes him just incredible and productive. So getting into his kitchen, getting back there behind the line of scrimmage and disrupting him are two different things. The latter is the more potent version of the former. Just because the Cardinals don't get a sack on a specific play doesn't mean disruption won't cause an errant throw, won't cause a throwaway, won't cause a turnover. And equally as important as the Cardinals putting up points is keeping that Chiefs offense, even though it's new look, just at bay. Travis Kelce is an absolute terror. But if the Cardinals can disrupt the offense for the majority of the time that the Chiefs are on the field, Cardinals are going to win on Sunday. And we've seen flashes enough from this defense to where it's like, well, if that happens more, Cardinals are going to win a lot of games. If that happens more, the Cardinals are going to win a lot of games. This portion of the list is so important because if Patrick Mahomes is having tea parties in the backfield, Cardinals are going to lose. Cardinals are going to lose. Patrick Mahomes is still, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the NFL. People are anointing Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Patrick Mahomes is still the best quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. And anything the Cardinals can do to disrupt that will help them in their plight to win in Week 1 at State Farm Stadium in the afternoon slate. A lot of eyes are going to be on this game. And if Vance Joseph can cook up a pass rush scheme that can get Patrick Mahomes not only out of his kitchen, but disrupted, turning the ball over, making the secondary look better, recipe for success for the Cardinals. Alex Clancy, Locked On Cardinals. Oh, man. There's one more thing that if this happens, the Cardinals will win on Sunday. Regardless, don't look at the spread, 6 points. Listen, relax. The Cardinals have one other thing that they need to do to win on Sunday, and I'm going to tell you about it next. Locked On Cardinals. First, I get to talk about Prize Picks. I said I get to talk about because I love talking about these guys. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's an app. Okay? Prize Picks app. It's daily fantasy, like player projections combined. Okay, so you go to this app and make an account. It's available in 30 states right now, and I'm assuming growing. And you look down, so say you go to, Week 1, Cardinals Chiefs. You go in, Kyler Murray, over under. Hit that one. Hollywood Brown, receptions. Highlight that. Darrell Williams, rushing yards. Highlight that. Hit OK. Then it opens up. Would you think that number is going to be higher or lower than the Prize Picks projection? You can do 2 to 5 in one bet, win up to 10 times your initial wager. It's awesome. Like, I was cruising around a couple days ago. I'm like, this is sweet. Like, it's simple. You can make your wager in like 30 seconds, and you just choose over under what the player projection for a specific player, specific game, specific, stat the Prize Picks has. Super duper easy and fun, and it streamlines the whole process. Download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive up to $100 instant deposit match, up to $100. Or sorry, 100% instant deposit match, up to $100 with promo code Locked On. If you deposit $100, Prize Picks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, Prize Picks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter promo code Locked On at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. Alex Clancy, Locked On Cardinals. Wednesday edition tomorrow. Chris Clark will be joining me for a full-on crossover Chiefs-Cardinals edition. It's going to be fun. Every Thursday, for those that haven't listened to Locked On Cardinals very often, during the regular season, every Thursday, I do a crossover episode with the host of the opponent that the Cardinals are playing that week. And if it's a Thursday night football game, usually we do it Wednesday. But, yeah, it's going to be really fun. It's going to be really, really fun. And then Friday, I'll break down prediction of the game, keys to victory, things like that. You'll see if you haven't been a part of this ecosystem for a while. First of all, thank you for joining. And second of all, the week is segmented pretty rigidly, even though I like to go off the cuff at times. So the offense needs to pop off right away in Week 1. This isn't a feel-out period. This isn't it'll take a half to adapt and put up 7 points, 3 or 7 points in the first half. That's not going to work if the Cardinals want to win on Sunday. That's one. They've got to score early and often. Number 2, the pass rush has to disrupt Patrick Mahomes. Has to. You've got to get this Chiefs offense rocker with the speed, with the intellect, and with the pass rush and blitzing schemes that Vance Joseph is going to cook up. And number 3, this goes for any Patrick Mahomes-led team. You can't give up the big play. Cannot. There is a case study in this where it's like, okay, we won't give up the big play, but everything else is available. I don't know if you remember. It was a primetime game. It was Chiefs-Bills, and I believe it was in Buffalo. And the Bills were like, nope, you're not getting over the top of us. And all Patrick Mahomes did was pick them apart first down, 10, 12 yards at a time. A lot of dump-offs to running backs, a lot of dump-offs to tight ends and wide receivers, just moving the sticks because the Bills wouldn't allow the big play. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about not getting burned deep in a position where the Cardinals should have had coverage over the top. Now, this could be some sort of perfect storm depending on the blitz packages that Vance Joseph puts together. Because if Patrick Mahomes checks out of a play because he knows the blitz is coming and has MVS on the outside one-on-one coverage against Marco Wilson and burns him, that could be a 75-yard touchdown catch, like in the blink of an eye, in a 4.5-second play. Like, that's the capability of this Chiefs offense. They've got burners. Just because Tyreek Hill is gone doesn't mean this offense is going to be worse. And that's a common misconception. Juju Smith-Schuster's 25 years old. Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be a guy that could catch 100 balls this year if he stays healthy. And MVS is a guy, he's going to be more like the Mecole Hardman role, the DeMarcus Robinson role, where it's like he runs faster than everybody else. Run fast. I'm going to throw the ball down there. You go down and catch it. One play, touchdown, 7-0 Chiefs. Like, that's what needs to be avoided. It's what needs to be avoided. And it can be avoided a little bit easier if the Cardinals' pass rush is effective. If the Cardinals' blitz packages are effective, it'll give Patrick Mahomes less time to let a play mature. It'll give him less time to look down the field for those opportunities. And not only is it the deep balls, it's the screen passes. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Ronald Jones, Jerick McKinnon. They've got guys in the backfield who are great catching the ball in the backfield and running the ball. And if we know anything about Andy Reid, ask Alex Smith for the $70 million he got from Washington. Kareem Hunt, Damian Williams, a lot of screen passes. A lot of screen passes for huge chunk gains. And that's another thing that opposing offensive coordinators, head coaches, and quarterbacks look for when it comes to pass rush and blitz packages is let them through, dump it over, gone, chunk. So the big play comes in different packages. The big play comes in different looks. When I say big play, I'm talking 30, 35 yards, not necessarily one play pitch catch touchdown. So they're going to have to find that middle ground on the defensive side of the ball to take risks, but also understand who Patrick Mahomes is and what he can do to break your back. If these three things happen, offense pops off immediately, the pass rush disrupts Patrick Mahomes, and the Cardinals don't give up a big play, Cardinals are going to win on Sunday, regardless of what the spread in Vegas says. Alex Clancy, Locked On Cardinals. I'll talk to you tomorrow for Crossover Thursday.